September 26th, 1983. We are inside a high-tension Soviet nuclear command center. Without warning, the emergency system alarms trigger. The computer screens declare that 5 American nuclear missiles are inbound. According to strict military protocol, the Soviet Union must immediately launch a counterstrike. Lieutenant Colonel Stanislav Petrov is the officer on duty. His only job is to follow the system's rules and execute the retaliation. But he pauses. He asks a logical question that the computer system is not programmed to consider. If America were actually starting a global nuclear war, why would they send only 5 missiles? A real first strike would involve hundreds. Petrov makes a choice that overrides his training. He ignores the alarm and reports it as a false system error. By refusing to follow the protocol, he stops a chain reaction that would have triggered a nuclear exchange. This capacity to step outside a rigid protocol and rationally observe a system's limits from the outside is what researchers call metacognitive intelligence. It is the ability to catch a system's blind spots before they lead to a catastrophe. You might not be sitting in a Cold War bunker, but you are trusting an invisible system that is heavily flawed, your own brain. Hit subscribe to learn how to catch its blind spots, because we need to look at how this biological machine actually runs. Blindly trusting automated systems is a threat to survival. Whether it is a Soviet computer network or the biological programming inside your head, failing to question the system can lead to the same disastrous results. Most of us assume our brain works like a camera, passively recording reality. Modern neuroscience reveals the brain is actually a simulator. To save massive amounts of biological energy, your brain uses a mechanism called predictive processing. Instead of building a new picture of reality every second, it constantly guesses what is going to happen next, and then uses your senses to check for errors. Here is where the system glitches. When reality contradicts the brain's prediction, updating that internal model costs too much energy. To conserve power, the brain often distorts reality itself, so the prediction still feels correct. You can observe this glitch in the hollow face mask illusion. When you look at the inside of a curved mask, your brain forces it to look like a normal, outward projecting face. It simply replaces physical reality with a familiar pattern it already knows. This energy-saving distortion extends to your biology through the placebo effect. A fake pill works because your brain's internal model predicts that healing is imminent, and your body initiates a physical recovery to match that prediction. Much of our experience of the world is a heavily filtered hallucination. Your brain prioritizes keeping you comfortable and energy efficient over showing you the objective truth. To maintain this extreme efficiency, the brain organizes its predictions into stable, repeating patterns. These run on autopilot and dictate how you react to the world. We experience them as habit loops, as fear loops, and ego loops. If the brain had to manually select a new loop for every situation, it would quickly exhaust itself. So it compresses all of these patterns into one master operating system. We call this central model identity. This is the critical difference between raw IQ and metacognitive intelligence. Raw IQ is merely processing power, and it takes its orders directly from your identity. This chart shows the results of a famous law school experiment. Researchers gave a complex statistical problem about a skin cream to participants with high math skills. Because the data was neutral, they solved it perfectly. Then, researchers gave the exact same participants the exact same math, but changed the topic from skin cream to gun control. The success rates plummeted. The high IQ individuals completely failed to interpret the numbers accurately. Their intelligence did not suddenly vanish. The new topic threatened their political identity, so their brain used its high processing power to defend pre-programmed biases instead of solving the math problem. High IQ becomes a tool for self-deception when the identity model refuses to process the facts. Evolution has always prioritized one specific trait over raw processing power, the ability to change when the environment demands it. This is adaptive intelligence. 2.4 billion years ago, oxygen was a deadly poison to life on Earth. The organisms that survived did not possess high intelligence. They survived because they rapidly adapted to use that poison as fuel. Upgrading your master operating system requires hacking the brain's adaptation feedback loop through a specific 3-step scientific process. Step 1 is cultivating a Bayesian mindset. You must stop treating labels like "I am shy" or "I am bad at math" as permanent facts. Treat them as hypotheses that you test with real-world action. Hyper-successful individuals rely on this exact framework. They think in probabilities. They test an assumption, observe the failure, and use that feedback to update their internal model to maximize the probability of success. Step 2 is curating your environment. Individual logic rarely shapes identity. Social surroundings do. To adopt a new identity, you must place yourself non-negotiably into physical and digital spaces that make your desired behavior the normal default setting. Step 3 leverages self-perception theory. Psychology reveals that we do not discover our identity by looking deep inside ourselves. We infer who we are by observing our own repeated actions. If you read every day, your brain eventually decides you are a learner. To force this rewiring, keep an identity journal. Write down your desired identity. Record daily behavioral evidence that proves you acted like that person, and analyze where you fell short. This process manually updates your neural networks. Since reality is constantly shifting, the fastest way to succeed is to match that speed, updating your identity as quickly as the world changes. Thanks for watching.